everyone. Happy Monday. There is a lot going on right now. I wanted to jump on and break all of this down. But first, before I get into the CEO Manhunt, let me move this microphone, and Jay-Z, the recent refiling of a lawsuit, I should add, it's a refiling. I want to just share that Daniel Penny has been found not guilty in the NYC subway chokehold death. I do think this is good news. If you don't agree, I apologize. I don't want to offend anybody, but I think that this is the right move here. And if you've been following this case in particular, you'll know that a few days ago on Friday, the jury explained to the judge that they were deadlocked, and the Manhattan DA actually dropped the manslaughter charge. And some people thought this was a good thing. I mean, it wasn't a good thing. I think that the writing was on the wall for them. They saw that they weren't going to get manslaughter because the jury was seemingly undecided and couldn't come to a conclusion here. So they thought if they dropped that and left the negligent homicide charge, they would be more likely to get a conviction. Hey guys, I'm just going to the chat right now. Hey Afton, hey Sheila, hey Pokemon. So yeah, I mean, something that's upset me about this case the entire time is that there are so many criminals in Manhattan that are far more dangerous than Daniel Penny. This felt just politically convenient for the DA's office, in my opinion. So yeah, he definitely was overcharged. And look, if you get convicted of negligent homicide in New York, that's a 4-year prison sentence. And you really do open yourself up to so many different lawsuits here. So Daniel Penny, his father already was filing a civil lawsuit, a wrongful death lawsuit. And I had so many thoughts about this. I'm sure his father was heartbroken, but I've even said this, the fact that his father, and I've done research on Jordan Neely's life, and he had a horrible, sad life. And I do feel like the system really let him down. And he dealt with a lot. His mother was murdered, Jordan Neely, and she was found in garbage bags. And his father, what I was getting at before I got distracted, was not necessarily a part of his life. He tried to be a part of his life when Jordan was 5 years old. And then again, when Jordan was 18 years old, he went to live with him. Oh, thank you so much about the hoops. I appreciate it. So he went to live with him at 18, and his dad demanded that Jordan fork over half of his subway earnings, which, I guess if you're an adult and you want your kid to pay rent, I get that. But Jordan was struggling. He didn't have that much money, which is why he went to live with his dad. And he didn't want to give away half of his earnings. So he ended up going to live in a men's shelter, over living with his own father. So then fast forward here, the wrongful death lawsuit and his father sitting in court day after day, kind of, I'm not going to say putting it on, because again, I feel like, sure, his feelings were valid. He was very sad about his son, but it just didn't feel genuine. You could have been a part of his life when he was alive, and he needed help. Jordan Neely needed a lot of help. So I don't think anyone's speaking right now outside of the courthouse or anything like that. I will play just a quick video from Fox 5.
With innocent lives lost. And I think it's going to be something we're going to be focusing on here as New Yorkers, even after this case.
DA, we take it back a look at what the jurors asked for, which was the city medical examiner's testimony. She reread to them to talk about the fact that part of the testimony included issuing a death certificate without getting a toxicology test result. Was that maybe a tipping point in them concluding this is going to be a not guilty verdict?
Well, I think they were focusing this morning on the language of that charge, right? Was Daniel Penny acting in a reasonable way, and did his conduct arise to criminal negligence? And I think the Emmy report did potentially have a factor in this, but I think with this charge in particular, it was more so the conduct of Daniel Penny, whether it arose to criminal negligence or not.
I'm sorry to interrupt you right now. We're going to turn things back over here at the courthouse as we're taking the live presser. We're checking in what they have to say.
Choked to death by someone who didn't care people was telling him to stop. Last week, the jury they couldn't decide on the top charge, but they come back this week and they give up on us. The family's hurt. I promised this family that we would get justice. We're still going to do that. We're going to move forward with our suit. The district attorney did a good job, but the jury in this case let us down. So now here's what we have. We have a call to action. Because you have to do something with this anger and with this rage. Our call to action is to take care of each other. We can't rely on outside people. If we see someone asking for food, we have to take the responsibility to give it to them. If we see someone cold, to give them a coat. If we see someone going through something, to ask them if they're okay. That's how we help each other, because we can't rely on the system to do it for us. And clearly, if we get to this point, it's too late. We have to be there for each other, and that's our call to action. Everybody that's pissed off at this verdict, I challenge you to go outside today and help one person.
I don't. Okay, I have a lot of feelings about this. I mean, I do feel like this is definitely going to cause a divide in Manhattan. What I hope and pray is that there aren't these crazy protests with cop cars being lit on fire like we saw back in 2020. But these are, I believe, the man behind the man speaking. So I believe this guy is like a family spokesperson. The guy and the guy with the hat is Jordan Neely's father. And then the guy behind him, that I believe is Hawk Newsome. If you guys saw the live that I did the other week, Hawk Newsome, he's a leader of BLM. He does a lot for his community. He really does, but he's kind of a jerk. I think I mentioned I talked some crap to him just because I was like, you can still help people, but you don't need to cause this insane divide. And he went off on me, telling me that I was the worst dressed person on the internet. It's so crazy. I have these screenshots somewhere, but I was shocked. I was like, wait, so you don't want to have a discussion? You just want to tell me that I don't know how to dress? Thank you so much. Next time I'll be like you. I'll wear bulletproof vests around the city, even though no one gives a shit about me. But yeah, sorry. I'm trying not to be so colorful about this, but I can't help it. It's so annoying. So yeah. So we have, I don't see anything right this second. I'm refreshing to see if Daniel Penny or his attorneys are speaking. Oh no, there's here. I'll change it to some live coverage. It seems to be all Jordan Neely.
I fought hard to get the anti-chokehold bill passed, which did pass. But it shouldn't only be for police officers. It should be for civilians also. No one deserves to be choked to death.
No, and I think a lot of what the jury was possibly confused about here, and Terry, thank you so much, the family civil attorney, and I'm relieved as well. But I think what there was so much confusion about is the fact, we have the Emmy who said, oh yes, he died from asphyxiation, suffocation, of being choked. But the Emmy said this before she saw a toxicology report. And there was a lot of synthetic weed in his system, which the defense had another medical examiner state that, no, this can absolutely attribute to the cause of death here. Additionally, he wasn't pronounced dead until he was at the hospital. So that's a question for a doctor here. I don't understand that, how somebody can die of asphyxiation but still be alive and have a pulse. And I think the jury, again, was questioning that as well, which is why they wanted to see the cross-examination of the medical examiner when they were hung last week. So a lot of questions here. Additionally, there's been talk that Daniel Penny, he didn't care after he did it. The body cam footage, all this stuff. Well, Daniel Penny didn't know that he had died after he was seen talking to police. He had no idea. He just thought he subdued him. So again, I just get frustrated living in Manhattan and seeing the fact that there are far more dangerous criminals running around on the street, and the DA's office tends to want to just pursue the political enemy, if you will. And I also don't think it's necessary for, I guess, conservatives, if you will, to call him, I mean, sure, he can be considered a hero because he did save people from what was about to go down, which again, if somebody's screaming and saying, I don't care if I die, yeah, that's pretty bad. That means they really don't care and they could go crazy. But I have a hard time with, I guess, him being completely celebrated about this as well. But again, I don't think he should have ever been charged. I don't think this should have gone to trial. And I feel icky about all of it. So anyway, I think for now we can move on, and I will continue to check and see if Daniel Penny has made a statement. And if any of you guys see that in the chat, let me know, and then we'll go back to that. But for now, I want to switch over to the CEO Manhunt, because now there's been some breaking news that the suspect is being held in Pennsylvania. So it's interesting because I was looking up the Port Authority bus schedules this morning. So we know that the suspect came in from Atlanta. The line, or let me rephrase this, because this is where I think it's getting a little confusing. The bus line, it originated in Atlanta with many stops, and the suspect was seen in DC. They have a video of him being seen in DC, and he came into the Port Authority station on 34th Street, or around 34th Street and 8th Avenue. That's a really, really, really busy area, and that station is super busy and super crowded. And those buses, they come from everywhere, all around the country. Now, where the shooter left from, it's different. It's a Port Authority station, but it's the George Washington Bridge station, still, again, part of Port Authority, but it's on 178th Street. And 178th Street, I can share this with you. This is, and I just tweeted this actually, and I noticed this morning, but here it is. So these are the routes, I guess, the bus gates and routes. You can go to New Jersey. They've got the New Jersey Transit here. Let me make sure you guys can. Oh, I'm not even sharing this, huh? Okay, so you can see the routes. Okay, New Jersey Transit. And then you've got the Greyhound, which it says service to Philadelphia, Boston, or Washington, D.C. Now, he probably wouldn't go to Boston if he's from Atlanta, because that would be going backwards. But again, possibly DC or Philadelphia. And now that he's being held in Pennsylvania, or a suspect is being held and questioned in Pennsylvania, it got me thinking. I was like, oh, wait, I could be onto something here. Because I found it strange that nobody was bringing this up. There's all this talk of Atlanta, but there's no direct route to Atlanta from where he left. So yeah, we've got that. And then, I want to bring up something else, something that I noticed over the weekend when I was just scoping a lot of this out. And I will share, let me find it. I'll share my my Twitter post. I guess that would be the most helpful here. Just give me a moment to scroll. Okay. So this is, let me share this. This is Central Park. This is the, it's called the Lake, and it's about 20 acres, this body of water in Central Park. So I went over there yesterday, and divers had been searching and diving in this lake, or the lake, since Saturday. When I got there, they were packing up. It was about 2:20 p.m. So they were packing up, and I was getting some information from other sources. Hey, they might, be onto somebody in Atlanta. And I was like, oh, this would make sense. I wonder if they found the murder weapon. There's been no reports of any murder weapon being found. We thought maybe the gun, or I was speculating, and as was NYPD, the gun could be possibly thrown in here. Let me give you guys a little bit more. Well, I'll come back to this. Okay, this is a video I shot. Let me close up so you can see. Okay, let me point out here, guys. This is 4 to 6 feet deep. I'll just let it play on repeat for a second. 20 acres, 4 to 6 feet deep. There is a bigger body of water called the reservoir, and the reservoir is between 86th and 96th Street, and that's much deeper. So I believe the reservoir, I had it written down somewhere, but I believe the reservoir is close to like 40 feet deep, 20 to 40 feet deep, around there. So it is interesting, right? And hear me out on this. Let me just go back to pausing that. Hear me out. We know he arrived in New York City on November 24th. He was most likely scoping the city out, trying to, figure out where he could stash things, where he could get rid of things, whatever. It does seem strange that he would find this body of water, and maybe he wouldn't be smart enough to realize that it's very shallow, and that a body of water that's very close, within 10 blocks, right? 10 blocks from here would be much deeper and much harder for divers to navigate. So why would he do this? Now, additionally, I'm scoping out the scene and I'm trying to find cameras, and there are no cameras in sight over here. No cameras in sight. And that made me realize, they must have a GPS tracker from the bike that would possibly indicate that he hovered around here for a few minutes, right? He hovered or whatever it is. They must have him stopping and then assumed that he threw the gun in the water or stashed it somewhere. That's what I'm trying to figure out here, because how would they spend so much time and so much money in this particular body of water in Central Park unless they had, reason to? So unless they had this GPS tracker that stopped him here, or had it stopped here, how would they know? That's kind of been bugging me, because they were there. The divers were there. Like I said, they got there Saturday, and then I saw them packing up Sunday afternoon. Hi, Donna. Thanks for being here. Hi, Jack. Hi, Steve. I'm so happy to have you guys here as I talk through my stream of consciousness. So I also, I will also show you just some other photos. Let me go back to removing this so you don't see me search through my entire Twitter. But yeah, I have reason to believe that they must have some kind of just GPS on him from the bike, and they have him just stopping here, because that was a lot of resources that were diving, investigating, and I just feel like they wouldn't have done that unless they had information. So going back to the hostel, I did visit the hostel, and I visited surrounding businesses on Saturday. Now I will pull that up. Let me see. How come whenever, it's so funny, whenever I get on a live stream, I tend to forget how certain sites work. Like I can go back or I can refresh. Isn't that funny? It's like I get all nervous and I'm like, oh, this is how computers work. Thank you so much. Yeah, so forgive me. So here we go. We have pictures from the hostel. I'll show you the lobby. Pulling this back up. And a lot of you might have seen this on my Twitter, but I'm pointing out the fact that the lobby had multiple cameras. multiple cameras inside, and there were multiple cameras outside. And this makes me believe that law enforcement will be releasing a lot more stills of the suspect the longer that he is on the run for. Because look, I spotted multiple cameras inside. Then let's go outside. These are the inside cameras. Outside, all along the wall there, those are cameras. And I also went across the street to a couple businesses where I spoke to them, and they said they turned over all of their footage to the NYPD, and they really weren't allowed to speak to me. They were super coy, and they just said, yeah, they just told us not really to talk. And I get it. It's an ongoing investigation. But again, it takes time to go through all of this footage, all of the footage that they're collecting, because there is, he was in the city for 10 days. There are over 3,000 cameras in Manhattan alone. If you want to count all of the cameras across New York City, across all 5 boroughs, that will be close to 25,000 cameras. So you've got this guy in the city for 10 days. I mean, come on. We know they have him captured everywhere. So it's going to take time for this footage to come out until they officially say, okay, this is our guy. I do believe they have narrowed it down to a couple of names. I think that, one of the names maybe wasn't right at first, and so they moved on. But now we know that they do have a suspect in Pennsylvania. So I will share this right here. And a lot of you guys in the chat are saying people posting stuff, gun silencer for fake IDs. Okay. Yeah, I mean, here we go. The New York Post is saying the guy arrested had a manifesto on him. Did they make an arrest? I didn't see that they made an arrest. Let me look. New York Post. I'm looking this up. Okay. The New York Post says, yes, here we go. Can you guys see that? Okay. Oh, look at that ad. So obnoxious. Yeah. Oh my gosh, these ads are so annoying. I get it. Got to make a living, but this is rude. All right. A person of interest was nabbed Monday. So I don't think anyone's been arrested. Busted. It says they've been busted possibly trying to use a fake ID in McDonald's. They allegedly had a manifesto on him when he was taken into custody by cops in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Where the heck is that? Let's look that up. Altoona, Pennsylvania. Altoona, it says there is a population of 42,788 people. It's the principal city of the Altoona metropolitan area, which includes all of Blair County. But I want to know, how far is Altoona from Philadelphia? How far is Altoona from Philly? Oh, it's kind of far. It's 4 hours away. But I mean, if he got on a bus, right, last Wednesday, and he traveled to Philadelphia, he would have ample time to get there. Again, I mean, this is all developing, so everything is subject to change. This is so crazy. Oh my gosh, I totally agree. I totally agree. And by the way, Saturday Night Live is so annoying. I watched part of the clip that Colin Jost did and Michael Che. It's just, I don't know. It's too soon. I'm like, it's not really funny, I guess. I mean, regardless of, the healthcare system, this guy was a dad. He had 2 kids and he's a family man. Let's check that. Bus routes from Philly to Altoona, because we know this guy thinks that the bus is safe, right? Yeah, so this person appears to be in custody. There's no word if they've been arrested or not. But I wanna look that up. Bus routes. Let's see if Greyhound offers this, because he seemingly took Greyhound. Here we go. Yeah, there are bus routes from Philadelphia to Altoona. Affordable bus tickets, and they offer Wi-Fi, guys. That's so luxurious. I'm just searching today. You know what? I'll share this with you guys. You can see my live search. I mean, possibly you're right, possibly, because we know they have fingerprints found on the water bottle and on the burner phone, and allegedly the fingerprints are smudged, so they're going to be they're a bit more difficult to navigate previously. But if they have a comparison, yeah, that would be helpful. So let's see. There is a 12:50 today. Interesting. What would be tomorrow? 12:50. Ooh, this is so funny. So I guess Pennsylvania on the bus from New York City to Philadelphia, that would probably take about 3 to 4 hours. So if he got on, let's say, yeah, a 7:30 bus, and the bus was leaving at 12:50, let's say he would probably arrive there 11:30, 12 maybe, depending on traffic, depending on if the bus stops at a rest area for people to get food or pee. I don't know how that works. I do know a lot of these buses do have bathrooms, but that timeline might add up if it's, the one route from Philly to Altoona is at 12:50 every day. Again, I'm not sure, but this is what we're working with here. This is all speculation in terms of the route. Okay, but let's I do want to go back to the suspect here. Oh, you know what? I want to talk about this. Okay. Let's talk about this for a second. This is where this is so okay. I don't know what to make of this. So you guys give me your opinion on this. This footage was released last week by NYPD, and this particular still is from CNN. Okay. So this shows the suspect coming out of the 57th Street subway station, 57th and 6th Avenue. This is the F train. This footage was taken from the Davidoff cigar store, which is right there. Okay. Now, this is what caused me, if you guys saw my tweets this weekend, this is what caused me to be like, well, wait a second. There's no F train by the hostel. There's the 1 train, and you can switch to the F train, but you'd have to go all the way downtown and then back up. So I posted this, yada, yada. And I've noted most places that, this is all subject to change. Well, then I had a friend, NJ Burkett. He works for ABC7 in New York. He commented on the Instagram post, and he said, Lauren, in our reporting, we're no longer using this information, and he didn't really give me anything else besides that. Or he just said, it's important that your followers know this is subject to change. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm aware, but I couldn't figure out why they're not using this. And I searched and searched and searched, and there's nothing that says that this should not be used. However, in some of the timelines, wait, it's funny you say Pokemon, okay, I was going to get to this about the different shoes. It's not different shoes. He had black shoes with white soles, and there's the still of him on the phone about 15 minutes before the shooting with the black shoes and the white soles. And this was around 6:30 a.m. So now I'm like, well, wait a minute. Could that still be this guy? I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. You've got a guy coming out of the subway with a gray backpack, black jacket, black hood, the morning of the shooting, and you're telling me that this might not be the guy? that doesn't make sense. I mean, there was a timeline on CNN that completely left this part out again, and it just said that they now believe, this is how they said the beginning of the timeline, and I wrote this down. They believe that he left the hostel by bike around 5:30 a.m. and that he spent some time wandering back and forth by the Hilton, which is between 53rd and 54th Street. He spent some time wandering back around there before taking a walk over to Starbucks to get the 2 power bars and the water bottle. And then they said that he was seemingly walking by a pile of trash by this deli on 55th Street. And then they had the phone call that he was making. And then they had him hovering across the street, kind of lying in wait until the CEO emerged, on the sidewalk, walking towards the side entrance of the Hilton. So this is interesting. Now I want to find those photos of more surveillance. Hold on, I'm going to look this up. Surveillance. All right, let's see if we can figure out his shoes here, because I really, oh, hold on. There's a lot of footage, right, about different shooters. Okay, this is interesting. Maybe multiples. I know. It's crazy. I won't deny. I mean, I don't know. I won't discount that. I really can't figure it out. Okay. So here are the shoes again. Share this tab instead. All right. I just had the shoes. Okay, there they are. See the black tops with the white soles. Those are the same. Oh, why isn't that? Oh, here it is. Sorry. All right. Yeah. You can get Bye Afton. Yeah. So those are still the same shoes that he was seen coming out of the subway with. That's why I don't understand. Maybe that footage was pulled from a different day. Actually, no, I take it back, because CNN, hold on, going back to that, I swear they had, hold on. They had the timestamp. Let me look on my phone, because the timestamp was definitely that morning. So now I don't know what to make of this. I really don't know what to make of this as to why they are not reporting that the F train still was in fact him. I mean, I guess we could possibly find out, but that's really strange. I'm going to go back and look at just some of the other, let's look at the bike. If you can kind of see, oh shoot, I forgot I unsubscribed to the New York Times after they printed more misinformation. So I can't click that. I want to get him on the bike. All right, here we go. Let's share this right here. All right, so the bike, it's very blurry, but you can see still white soles. Let me try to zoom in on that, guys. Yeah, super blurry, but white soles. Yeah, I don't see how that could not be the same, but again, I guess we'll find out. Let me look for any additional breaking news here, because I do also want to move on to Jay-Z. Let's see. I don't want to miss anything. Suspect being held. All right, still 6 minutes ago, USA Today is the most recent article put out there. My gosh, I just lost it. Okay, here we go. Going down, person of interest was detained for questioning Monday in Pennsylvania. In connection, Altoona. Okay. He drew attention in part because he was found with a gun similar to the weapon used in the shooting Wednesday, and this is cited through anonymous sources. I mean, I guess that could be true, but this would sort of debunk the theory that he tossed the weapon in the lake in Central Park or somewhere else. I mean, this makes me think then, like, I guess the dive team could possibly be looking for the gun, but what else could they possibly be looking for? Let's go back to this article. Okay, he was found with a gun similar to the weapon used in the shooting. The breakthrough came as the investigation stretched into a 6th day after police in New York uncovered numerous videos and photos of the suspect and developed a precise timeline for his escape. The man was identified based on a tip after he was spotted Monday in a McDonald's restaurant by another customer, the New York Times reported, and the suspect had a gun, a silencer, and a false identification card similar to those authorities believe the killer used in New York. Okay, but here's the thing, guys. I want to point something else out here. It wasn't a silencer on the gun. I believe it was something different. It was something called a bolt action. So, yeah, it's weird. I don't know if this is the guy now that I dug a little bit further here. Let's look this is what a bolt action looks like on a pistol. Bolt action on gun. You know, I'll just share this with you guys so you can see my search. Okay. So bolt action is the type of manual firearm that's operated by directly manipulating the bolt via a bolt handle, most commonly placed on the right-hand side of the firearm, as most users are right-handed. Let's go back. Was he right-handed? Do you guys recall? I'm looking for a still right now as we speak. It's so hard to remember. I mean, he had both hands on the gun. It looked like he was here. Hold on. Really quick. You can see that, right? Both hands on the gun. I can't tell what he's doing in this still, but just going back to the bolt action, it says, what is a bolt on a gun? A bolt is the part of a repeating breech-loading firearm that blocks the rear opening of the barrel chamber while the propellant burns and moves back and forward to facilitate loading. Hold on, I'll share this. Loading and unloading of cartridges from the magazine. The firing pin and extractor are often integral parts of the bolt. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that would be the guy if they. And also, why would he have the gun just sitting out in a McDonald's? That would be the dumbest thing ever. That would be like he wants to get caught here. I mean, I just don't. I feel like that would not be the smartest thing to do. Which, again, we we think he doesn't want to get caught. Hence the fact that he fled. But I mean, if this is in fact true, and this could be him, maybe he does. Let's go back to the suspect and the actual footage of him that was seen through the taxi, which I now believe to be the best photo we've seen of him thus far, besides the still in the hostel. But I'm going to share this. I mean, guys, look at him. Let's see. I mean, those look like manicured brows. Though this guy doesn't look like your average street thug here. He looks like he cares about his appearance. I mean, we can go back to the backpack and we can just remind everybody that the backpack cost almost $300. It was about $279, I believe. So yeah, this guy, he has cash. And as cheap as hostels are still, I mean, you know, you can get a hotel in New York City, I would say cheapest, right? For a decent room, maybe $300 a night. I believe hostels, the American Youth Hostel where he was, I believe that's around $118 a night. Let me look just to be sure. Nightly rate. So that hostel is showing, okay, it's showing, just kidding, it's showing $76 a night for the cheapest room. So yeah, I mean, you can times that by 10, and he most likely spent almost $1,000 on staying in the city, and then again living in the city. I mean, it's not cheap. It's definitely not cheap to be here. So he had to have some kind of money that he had saved up in order to do this. Making sure I haven't missed anything else here. Oh, it also says, there's trains by Altoona, Pennsylvania, but again, I don't know. I feel like the bus would be the most inconspicuous and have the least amount of cameras surrounding it. Trains are a little more I guess formal, if you will. You've got a guy that comes around and punches your ticket. You show your ticket. Sometimes you show your ID. It's yeah. Oh, this is interesting. 26-year-old suspect per Twitter. Oasis, was this put out by a sleuth or by a media outlet? Just curious. Let me know. I'm trying not to, I guess, post information too quickly because I do want to vet it out. But this is all really interesting because we know, or as long as you guys keep in mind that this is developing and everything is subject to change, that just, yeah, that is helpful. I mean, at one point, they thought that the suspect got a gun from a store in Connecticut, and they quickly debunked that because that also doesn't really make sense. I feel like he would travel to the city with this gun, but yeah, he wouldn't just decide to buy one here. Anything else? Let me just quickly go through. Who's? Let me see. Pretty good. I'm gonna go. Associated Press is pretty good about everything. Last stop on this. Okay. Oh, wait. CNN has something from 20 minutes ago. All right. Same thing. So, okay. Yes. It says the 26-year-old was picked up at a McDonald's in Altoona after an employee thought he looked like the man in the NYPD department. Photo. Okay. Oh. The man also had some documents investigators want to examine as potentially relating to motive, though further details weren't clear. Okay, this makes so much more sense. If an employee thought that they recognized him, yeah, and called the cops, that would make sense. Not that this guy was waving a gun around. That was the dumbest thing I've ever read. And by the way, that was USA Today that printed that. I mean, and maybe there's some truth to it, not sure, but that just seemed a little crazy. Let's see what else they say. Altoona police are waiting for NYP detectives who are en route. All right, we're definitely going to find out more later today. Okay, wait, working off a tip. Police stopped a person traveling by bus and recovered a suppressor. All right, so that's what went down. When they stopped this guy, they recovered a suppressor and a number of false IDs. Oh, wait, this is actually looking good. This is looking really good. Okay. So they found a suppressor and they found multiple IDs. Yeah, geez. But why would you carry all of that with you? Why would you carry all that with you? Like that just seems like you're asking for it. Anything else? Okay. All right. something about his father. I didn't see that. Where did you read that? Let's look at this live here. In a grim twist. Oh no, that's the New York Times. Let's see what People says about this. Usually they're not, People isn't great with breaking news. I'll share this tab though. I don't see anything about his father on X. Oh, okay. Got it. All right. If it's on X, I'm not sure. I don't want to spread anything just yet, but that is really interesting. I mean, and I could see that. I could see this being a killing based on a family member just, passing away from not getting coverage, not, it all seems to point to that over this hired skilled assassin, I guess, in my opinion. No, Donna, oh my gosh, don't be sorry. It's super interesting. I love hearing about it. Are you kidding me? I just feel like I shouldn't put it out there, even though I kind of want to. But all right, let's go to he did make a phone call, and his phone call was at 6:30 a.m., about 15 minutes before the killing. We don't know how long that phone call was. We do know that he was using a burner phone, and this was the phone that he allegedly dropped or discarded in the alley, which was at the Ziegfeld Ballroom. And if you saw my live last week, I was there, and it wasn't really an alley. It's kind of like it's wide, and it's just, I don't know. It's like where people go to have lunch in the area. It's a very commercial area, lots of different businesses, not a lot of apartments and hotels, obviously. So, okay, that's interesting. His father might have helped ID him. Okay, that's interesting. I mean, let's stay on top of this. I do want to talk about Jay-Z and the allegations made that he took part in the assault of a 13-year-old girl, in the year 2000. So something that I want to point out here, and I will pull this back up. Well, first let me get this. So it's funny. Every time I hear sirens now in the city, I'm like, ooh, are they getting closer to finding, even though they're not here anymore. I'm just like, are they getting closer to finding this shooter? But no, back to Jay-Z. So the allegations, this lawsuit was originally filed in October of 2024. And I actually went over it. If you joined me for that live, you'll remember that I was confused about a lot of this lawsuit, and not necessarily confused in the sense that I didn't understand it, but I did have a lot of questions. The lawsuit was very disturbing. This 13-year-old girl, she was trying to get into the Video Music Awards, which were held at Radio City Music Hall. And again, it was the year 2000, and Diddy was dating J-Lo at that time. So he had a party after the Video Music Awards, and this party took place at his mansion in New Jersey. So as this girl was trying to get in to Radio City, Diddy's limo driver, and this is gosh, to the best of my memory, I'm thinking back when I reviewed this lawsuit, but I'll pull it up in a second. But the limo driver was like, I can't get you into the awards, but Diddy's looking for girls like you to go to his party. So meet me here at, this time, and I'll take you after the awards are over. So she did. And she got driven over the bridge to New Jersey. And this is when she alleged that she was attacked by not only Diddy, but by another male celebrity while a female celebrity watched. And this, again, is what she has alleged. And at the time of the lawsuit, we didn't know any names, so many people were speculating. But over the weekend, she refiled with the Busby law firm, and she named Jay-Z in this lawsuit, whose real name is Sean Carter. So I have not gotten my hands on the refiling of the lawsuit just yet, but I do have the original lawsuit that I can pull up just to give you guys an idea of just some of the, oh my gosh, the horrible, horrible things that she did say happened now that we have somebody in mind. Let me share this tab and scroll through. These things are, gosh, they're so long and they're so terrifying. And you'd think at this point it would sort of be slowing down, but it just gets more and more shocking as we go. Okay, the parties. So she has since added Jay-Z or Sean Carter, in addition to Bad Boy Holdings, Bad Boy Entertainment, Sean Combs, all of the Bad Boy entities here. And she says, okay. And this, by the way, this is a civil lawsuit. There, and I'll get to Jay-Z's statement, but in Jay-Z's statement, he was like, this should be a criminal lawsuit because this is so heinous. But again, we'll get there. I personally think that she's trying to build a case with this civil suit because if you recall in this suit, she names a gas station worker that was also that when she booked it out of the house, she said she saw a gas station worker who saw that she was in distress and let her use the phone to call her dad. Possibly this girl's dad can testify that he remembers that she was in distress and that he had to come and pick her up from, wherever she was in New Jersey. But yeah, let's just go back. Okay, factual allegations. I'm scrolling down. Okay. You guys can't see this super well, but I will read it out loud. Oh, yay, Sheila, you're back. I'm happy you're back. All right. All right. So inside the house, she recognized many celebrities in what appeared to be a living room. The wait staff carried trays of drinks. Loud music played throughout the house. She observed widespread drug use, including marijuana and cocaine. She accepted a drink, a reddish yellow mixture that tasted like orange juice, cranberry juice, and something bitter. After just one drink, she started to feel woozy, lightheaded, making her need to lie down. And this is a container of the alleged GHB that Diddy allegedly inserted into alcoholic drinks, or his people inserted. So she started to feel woozy. She looks for a place to rest. So she enters what she believed to be an empty bedroom so she could lay down for a moment. She didn't lock the door. And then soon after, she claims that Diddy, along with a male and female celebrity, entered the room. And Combs aggressively approached the plaintiff with a crazed look in his eye, grabbed her and said, "You are ready to party." Ugh. Combs then threw plaintiff towards another male, celebrity A, who we now know to be named as Jay-Z, who removed plaintiff's clothes as she grew more and more disoriented. Plaintiff was held down by celebrity A, who vaginally graped her while Combs and watched. Okay. After we'll say Jay-Z allegedly finished, then Diddy took a turn while Jay-Z allegedly and celebrity B watched. Oh, this is so awful. My gosh. Plaintiff says that Combs ordered her to perform oral on him, but she resisted, hitting him in the neck, and then she grabbed her clothes and shoes, left the bedroom, roaming naked through the house, looking for the exit as the party continued. And, I have to think here that was par for the course, I guess, at these parties, just naked females looking dazed, confused, disoriented, and sometimes just booking it, fleeing. It's crazy that nobody would stop and just think, hey, maybe something is not right here. And that could speak to the state of mind that they were in too, of course. But yeah, it's really concerning. So it says eventually plaintiff reached a gas station. A female clerk noticed her distress and allowed her to use the phone. So yeah, this is the lawsuit that she alleged actually involved Jay-Z. Yeah, so that it's troubling. And again, the original live stream that I did talking about this, I didn't necessarily have formal confirmation about where Diddy's house was located in New Jersey, but I did do a background check and I found a few Jersey homes that belonged to him. This one that I found in particular seemed to be the biggest. So I took that address and I tried to locate the nearest gas station. And the nearest gas station was a good couple of miles away, which was like a 50-minute walk. So I found that to be really, gosh, I mean, if this girl, and again, I don't have formal confirmation that this is exactly where his house was. So yeah, I mean, it could have been a shorter walk, but a 13-year-old girl just wandering around New Jersey after getting drugged and being super out of it and scared. And I mean, it's terrifying. And look, it's the suburbs. It's not like it's New York City and it's well lit at night. It's very dimly lit. So she must have been terrified. And I would imagine that she was probably trying to flag down cars as she was walking, but who knows? Yeah. And Sheila, like, as far as security goes, I feel like this was par for the course for them, right? Like they saw this type of thing a lot. They were privy to it. And many of them were under NDAs where they couldn't disclose this. And it's horrible. It's so bad. And it just makes me feel, gosh, so freaking icky inside, you know? It's so disgusting. So I want to go to Jay-Z's statement that was put out amid him being named in this lawsuit. And oh my gosh, guys, you don't have to be a statement expert to take one look at this statement and just kind of say, I mean, I will say that my husband was like, oh, I didn't even notice that he didn't deny anything until you pointed it out. But it is really weird. And I'll play this for you, but this was just something that, and again, I've seen this headline, Jay-Z vehemently denies allegations. I'm like, what? He vehemently denies them. I didn't see any denial. And that's a headline. I've seen CNN, I'll play a clip after this. One of her anchors is interviewing a legal analyst about it. And she's like, he has just viciously denied these claims. And I'm like, what are you saying? What are you talking about? Yes, exactly, Sheila. You don't have to be Jack Fox for this. But we can pull it up really quickly. And let me grab this because I did post his entire statement. I just forgot. I clipped off the last sentence by accident, but the last sentence was really important. So I will let you guys know what it said. All right. So this was the statement. Let me get a little bit closer for you all. My lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a lawyer named Tony Busby. While he had calculated was the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. No, sir, it had the opposite effect. It made me want to expose you for the fraud that you are in a very public fashion. So no, sir, I will not give you one red penny. That's interesting. Red penny. I wonder if that could be some kind of potential leakage about something. Red penny is so bizarre. My gosh. All right. Those allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint and not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? That seems to be a bit of crowdsourcing, shaming everybody and wanting everyone to have the same view as you. These alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case. Okay. This lawyer, who I've done a bit of research on, seems to have a pattern of these type of theatrics. I have no idea how you've become such a deplorable human, Mr. Busby, but I promise you, I've seen your name, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So he's talking about Busby being a Marine. Marines are known for their valor. You have neither honor nor dignity. And now he gets into, I think, his real concerns here and just his focus, which is my only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence. Children should not have to endure such at their young age. It is unfair to try to explain. Okay. So now we've got more. His heart goes out to the true victims of the world who have to watch how their life story is dressed in costume for profitability by this ambulance chaser in a cheap suit. So I want to point out that yes, right, exactly. I want to point out that the last sentence that Jay-Z states is, I look forward to showing you how different I am. And I thought that was funny because he didn't say, I look forward to showing you how innocent I am, which is where I feel like I would want to go with this. I mean, it definitely, look, I'm not going to say that Tony Busby is not a media whore. I mean, it's it's like, yes, there is a lot of publicity that's going on for him, and that's fine. But my favorite phrase, multiple things can be true. I think it would really be appropriate right here. So quickly, Jack Fox, he did make a couple bullet points about this statement. So I'll go back really quick. Let me see. Oh, here it is. Okay. Am I showing? Yes, I am showing this. So really fast, Jack made some notes and he says he does not deny allegations. Right. He does not directly say they are untrue. Right. His anger is toward the lawyer and not the person making the claims. I did not pick up on that. That is huge. I mean, that's huge, right? Why? Oh my gosh. If I'm going to speculate, innocent until proven guilty, but this really makes me speculate that he might have done something and these allegations are truthful, but yeah, we'll see. Frames himself and his children as victims, and then he states his resume to remind us what he's achieved. Yeah, this all is, oh my gosh, this is really, really, really interesting. I did not put that together, that he is taking all of his anger out on the lawyer and not the Jane Doe that made these claims, which again, it leads me to believe there could be some truth here. So I also sent this to one of my colleagues who does statement analysis as well, just like Jack. And he is a former colleague of Peter Hyatt's. So you guys all know Peter Hyatt if you also pay attention to some of my other streams and some of my other cases. But no case. So actually, it can be criminal. I looked this up. It could be criminal. And I feel like they might be building some kind of criminal case, but they're doing this. I'm sorry, they're doing the civil case first in order to build the criminal case. But I'm not sure. Because like I said, it seems like there's witnesses here, right? There's the gas station attendant, her father. We don't know who this female celebrity A is either. I'm hoping it's not Beyonce. I mean, I feel like she would have been named if that was her, you would think, but gosh, what do I know? I'm getting a call from a 516 number. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, I got Cheryl McCollum. I need to call her back. Who's this? Sorry, you guys are watching me in real time figure out who. I'm sorry. Who? That was so strange. The voicemail from Long Island just said, call me back, bye. That's so weird. I don't know your number, man. That's so strange. Okay. Sorry, I'm looking up my text messages now because I realized I've been on this stream for an hour. So this is okay. What have I missed? There is going to be a press conference in Pennsylvania at 1:30 in regards to the CEO shooting. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. And I also got another text. Altoona is about an hour and a half from Pittsburgh. That's interesting as well. We didn't cover that. Okay. Interesting. I'll have to figure out who that 516 number is, by the way. But yeah, I bet you anything they probably have him. That's so interesting. So maybe I'll try to stream that that presser at 1:30, right? I'll have to see what's going on. I did want to point out, just going, sorry, I'm all over the place. Going back really quickly to Jay-Z's denial. This is interesting. So I was speaking before about a colleague of Peter Hyatt's. His name is Paul Mayardet. He's also incredible when it comes to statement analysis. He pointed out, quote, the tension in his statement is in regard to his wife and his children, where he says he has to sit them down. That's an indication, or when he says, I have to sit them down and I have to explain to them, it's an indication of tension on his part, not necessarily guilt, but tension around having to talk about the allegation itself. He's aware of the, quote, nature of the claims, which he repeats within the statement, making the allegation itself a sensitive one because, I mean, it's child abuse, really. So, but he says the one interesting point here is that he addresses that the abuser should be put in jail, not be paying out money. So he said, this is one of the tests we look for when a subject is asked about what should happen to someone who does this sort of thing. And he said he brought up Michael Jackson. When Michael Jackson was interviewed about his allegations of sexual abuse, he answered, to someone who does that, what I think should be done? Gee, I think they need help in some sort of way. So he was answering a question with a question, which they believe in statement analysis makes it very sensitive to them. And also he minimized what happened to a child abuser. And you know, he also says that often perps will minimize both the act and any sentence towards someone who did such a thing. He has money to be able to pay them, of course, but he's choosing to choose a criminal suit where he would lose his liberty. Yeah, that's really weird. This raises the question as to whether he is confident he can win a trial against the allegations, or he's not responsible for the allegations. And this is just, you know, diving into everything around the fact that he didn't really offer a denial, but this is what he seemed to offer. He also just said, I'd like to hear more from him before making any definitive judgments, and that makes perfect sense. His priority is to attack the character of the lawyer, which is what Jack brought up. It may be born from anger or as a calculated means of the response. One side note, quote, leakage in a statement is not something we tend to hang our hats on, but we explore it. He mentions life stories being, quote, dressed in costume. I don't question the point he's trying to make, but sometimes subject will use language which can leak information if they have guilty knowledge or guilty, they know what happened directly. And this goes back to, we've mentioned this before, Chris Watts saying, you know, I expected the girls to come barreling through the door and they were found in barrels. He's saying that Jay-Z stated life stories, quote, dressed in costume. Interesting. So no, I wonder. He said, my question would be, do we know if the girl in question had any type of costume on? I don't think so. I mean, it was the Video Music Awards. I wonder if ooh, this is interesting. Did the female celebrity have a costume on earlier that night? Did she perform at the Video Music Awards? That could be potential leakage. We just don't know. That's a great point here. Let me see what else he had to say. He said, okay, here we go. He said, an interesting point is if you reread his statement and you didn't know the allegations, you would not be able to say what the allegation against him is. The dynamic paints an interesting light, he says. He says, if I said I did not grape the 13-year-old girl, I'd be talking directly at the allegation with a reliable denial. And any other words like harm can't be held as a reliable denial. So, you know, child pedos and whatever, they often use the word harm. I did not harm the girl, because in their mind, they have a variety of reasons that justify their actions to others and to themselves. So, you know, he thinks, you know, child abusers might think that it's a loving act. I'm teaching them, I'm preparing them, and blah, blah, blah. So back to his point in this statement, if you didn't know what the allegation was, you know, he doesn't say it. So this is extreme distancing in this letter, extreme. So, but then he says the counterbalance within the statement are the third and fourth paragraphs where he states that it should be criminal, not money. And then my original question was, isn't the fact that there's no denial just really concerning to you? And he says to go back to my original question, he does not say that the heinous crime should mean that he goes to jail. Instead, he just talks in generality. People who do these things, sometimes we might refer to this as surmising. There's language within this, and he just needs to hear more. So, yeah, I mean, I thought that was also really interesting, the perspective that he put that in. So I think his conclusion is he really does want to hear more. He's not certain as to what Jay-Z is trying to get across to everybody. But one, he's distancing himself from the actual act. You know, he's showing all of this rage towards Tony Busby, but nothing against the Jane Doe who you know, filed this lawsuit. So that's crazy. Maybe somebody told him that, you know, he shouldn't be victim blaming, and that would be victim blaming or something. I mean, it's interesting to think about, but yeah, I don't know, Terry. She dressed up as an older, maybe. I mean, clearly, I think she probably looked a little bit older than 13, because gosh, I mean, 13 is so young. I'm hoping that she at least looked 18, but who knows? All right, so let me go check my emails and my phone right now, just because it's been an hour and there's a lot of breaking news, a lot of things developing. So there's a chance that I will be live streaming the presser at 1:30. I'll let you guys know if I do that. I don't know if anyone else is live streaming it. I feel like maybe they are. I'm not sure, but yeah, let's see. All right. So maybe I will talk to you guys in 30 minutes or so, but thank you for being here, and more to come, guys. Thank you again.